Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where it is time. We are going to launch our Odd One Mark Suicide and, crash it into Jewel a little bit. Should be fun. So let's go ahead and launch this, and technically I suppose this would be a test flight, but we shouldn't run into any issues. We did add on the 2 extra side boosters, but realistically I don't think we're going to run into any issues with having MechJeb pilot this. So let's go ahead and go. So far so good. We are almost certainly going to lose some of these tail fins when we detach, but that's okay. Ultimately we don't need them anymore once we leave the atmosphere. Realistically we maybe should have them on the booster stages rather than on the heavy lifter stage in the center here. Probably should. I just want to double check that we've got all of our fuel flowing properly. Yep, it appears to be. Yeah, fantastic. And we're not having any major tipping issues. We have a bit of roll authority issue going on here. Well, not really roll authority, but MechJeb just kind of didn't finish the roll. So let me get that fixed. Excellent. Whoa. That's a pitch authority issue. RCS? Okay. I wasn't expecting that. But like I said, this is a test flight. So let's go ahead and revert this and try to figure out what's going on with that. So I do see, historically when we've had that problem, it's been a fuel flow issue. Actually, let's not quite revert this yet. I want to just check here. And we are going to revert this eventually. I just am wondering why exactly that happened. Okay, let's go ahead and revert back to the vehicle assembly. I wonder if it has to do with my roll, but that shouldn't have changed anything realistically. We have an SAS here and here. It could be that our SAS is simply too high on this rocket. So let's consider moving our SAS to be on the other side of this decoupler. We will lose SAS once we detach our main stage, or we'll lose some SAS. We won't lose all of it, but that's ultimately okay to have a reaction wheel be lost there. And as long as we're modifying things, I'm going to go ahead and take off this tail fin and stick the tail fin on the outside stages, just so that we're not carrying it too much further. There we go. That should be slightly more efficient. And I think having all of our reaction wheels way up at the tip was why that happened. I'm not 100% on that, but that's my theory. Okay. Let's do another test flight. See how this goes. This should be a slightly more stable rocket design, and also we should have slightly more delta V. Theoretically. But let's go ahead and engage our autopilot, and off we go. With any luck, it'll work this time. MechJeb completely lost control there. Like I said, I think it's because the reaction wheels were both here and here, and we didn't have any real authority in this section. We did have authority down here from engine gimbaling, but I think it'll be more efficient in the mid-section. The other thing I could have done is moved it to be right above this engine. I'm not sure if it blocks fuel flow or not, the reaction wheel. I don't know. But so far so good. I'm going to try not correcting the roll here, since I'm not worried about losing tail fins. Oh, we're losing control again, I think. Oh, nope, we've got it. We're okay. We're okay-ish. Nope, there it goes. Okay. Well, that's certainly intriguing. That shouldn't be happening. Are these all free gimbal? Yes. Okay. That is certainly strange. Well, let's revert that back again, and it's happening pretty consistently, at about the same time. I'm just wondering if we perhaps need another reaction wheel. I don't know. I don't think that's the core issue. I think the core issue is one of aerodynamics. Let's check here. Aerodynamic overlay. If it will go. Okay. Aerodynamic overlay. There we go. So we are down here for our center of aerodynamic force. Interesting. Okay. We can try adding in another reaction wheel. It wouldn't be an awful concept. Realistically, I don't know why we're having these issues. We've launched this rocket a million times. So let's toss in an SAS module there and see how that goes. Our rockets are not asymmetrical, or rather our boosters are not asymmetrical. We have our staging correct. What's our center of mass? That's pretty much dead center. And of course it's centered down here, but it would move up as the rocket gets higher. Or rather, as we detach tanks and expend fuel. Okay. Just making sure we don't have oxidizer in there, and we do not. Okay. I guess we'll see if that fixes the issue. It shouldn't, I think. But I mean, having more pitch authority, or yaw authority, technically, I think is what we're running into issues with is not always the worst idea. If this one doesn't work, then I'm just going to manually launch this. So let's see here. It does its mech jeb spin just fine. Has a bit of roll authority issues, has a bit of a hard time stopping that roll. But it's got it under control now. Ish. There we go. So it seems to be when we're hitting max Q that we have the issues here. We could limit our Q via mech jeb. But here comes max Q. You can see our yaw drifting. But so far it's under control. And we're losing it. We're losing attitude. Interesting. And there it goes. We lost pitch control that time. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and revert this to launch. And I'm going to manually launch this thing. Get out of here, mech jeb. We'll see if I can handle it any better. Okay. So, let's go ahead and see if I can feel what's going on. So I'm going to go straight up until about 100 meters per second, probably. Maybe a little bit lower, or rather higher. I'm not feeling it quite yet. Right about now, I think, is when I'm going to start pitching over a little bit. I am going to turn on SAS, or actually Smart ASS Kill Rot. There we go. And try to keep attitude a little bit. Keep on pitching over. Our apoapsis height is not quite as high as I would like yet. We are definitely having some yaw authority issues here. But I might be able to keep it under control here. Oh my. This thing is very not aerodynamically stable, and I'm not entirely certain why. But I think I'm able to keep it relatively under control now. We're definitely through the thick portion of the atmosphere. Apoapsis height is at about 35 kilometers right now, so I'm going to stick at about 45 degrees for a little bit yet, until we at least get to 50. And we're definitely at 50 now. Okay, I'm just going to continue pitching over. Cut engines. RCS on. We want to go to surface velocity up, or rather horizon velocity up. Oh my. We are definitely having some yaw authority issues here. But we've got time. We're just coasting to the edge of space right now. Okay, so, this is kind of exciting. I'm going to go ahead and physics warp a bit here this turn. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the fairing. Fantastic. Okay. We're basically in space right now. And we just want to go orbital prograde currently. And I'm going to just go ahead and start burning. Burn prograde hard. Okay. That could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot better, too. But we should definitely go ahead and extend our solar panels, since MechJeb's not going to be doing that for us. There we go. Ditch our booster stages, and off we go. Apoapsis height is going up quickly-ish. Not amazingly quickly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn RCS off at this point. Actually, I'm going to burn RCS on accelerating us faster away from Kerbal. Increase our overall total delta V a little bit more. Just to be on the safe side. We shouldn't need the RCS anymore at this point. Okay, so we have an apoapsis height of around 150 and continuing to go up. That's fantastic. Our monopropellant is going down kind of slowly, but it is going down. We are now officially technically in orbit, and our apoapsis height is increasing quickly at this point. So let's just go ahead and keep an eye on that. We're going to want to cut our engines once we start going, you know, beyond min-miss orbit too much more. But for the time being, let's just keep burning off our monopropellant. We should be there within around 300-ish delta V. Make that about 200-ish. How are we doing on monopropellant? We've still got 40. Okay. And here goes the exponential growth. Cutting monopropellant. Cutting engine. Okay. Now we're just going to do a very slow burn. And just push out a little bit further. There. We have escaped. Okay, so we will be here in 18 days, 17 days, 1 year. 16 days. We'll go ahead and warp there. Excellent. So, it took a couple of attempts, and MechJeb couldn't handle it. But I got this rocket into space. Fantastic. So, let's just go ahead, and while we're doing this warp, I'm going to set Joule as our target. There we go. We are, of course, going to need to change our inclination by 1.3 degrees. That won't be too bad. Come on, time warp. I wish it would go up to 100x. But not at this altitude, unfortunately. 1 more day. And there we go. Okay, so I am going to turn RCS off at this point. And go ahead and just kill rotation. There we go. Let's go ahead and pull up the maneuver planner, and we are just going to very simply match planes with target. Create and execute. 211.3 meters per second. That's not bad. However, it will be in 366 days. Let's remove that node, actually. And let's say at the nearest ascending-descending node. There we go. It's 2 delta V different, but we save 150 days. I am okay with that. Okay, I'm going to physics warp our turn here. Fantastic. There we go. And now let's just warp over towards our inclination burn. And off we go. So, of course, the plan with this is to crash it into Joule and have it burn up in the Julian atmosphere. I've never actually done that before, but that is the plan. We do have this heat shield. So my understanding is if we manage to survive the descent in the Julian atmosphere, that once we reach negative 200 meters, I think, like 200 meters below the surface of Jool. There isn't a surface of Jool, but 200 meters below the surface, the ship will just be instantly destroyed. So that's kind of the goal here. We may end up burning up before then. We may burn off our ablation. Who knows? We're going to have to see. But for right now, we are about to do our inclination burn. And I'm just going to go ahead and assist that with some monopropellant. There we go. And cutting monopropellant. Perfect. 2, 1. That's good enough, MechJeb. That's good enough. Okay. So we should be at 0.0 degrees. Yes, indeed we are. So we're just going to home and transfer to target, create node. Let's take a quick look at what this node actually does. Come here, Jool. I want to see. I mean, that'll crash into the Julian atmosphere. There's no doubt about that. But this is not the speed I want to do it at. I want to do this at a usable velocity. So let's go ahead and pull back a little bit. 1.4 mil. I'm not sure where the atmosphere of Jool starts. So let's go ahead and pull back a little bit further for our initial orbit here. 6 million. That seems good right there. Execute that node. Fantastic. We've got 730 meters per second for our home and transfer burn, and our node is actually only in 20 days, so this was a pretty decent transfer window, at least for the home and transfer portion. We probably could have waited a couple days for the inclination burn before we launched, but it's fine. Hello, Kerbal. You're looking awfully tiny. Also, goodbye, Kerbal. We are about to leave very quickly. So this burn will be happening momentarily, and as it happens, I'm going to burn off the remainder of our RCS. There we go. Fantastic. Our RCS will be gone shortly-ish, but we can't time warp this burn quite yet until we detach our main core, because this nuclear engine is a weak point structurally, and the time warp with this mainsail burning doesn't like that. It likes to make 90-degree bends. I don't like my rockets to have 90-degree bends in them. Just throwing that out there. Okay. Now we can physics warp the burn. Excellent. And our monopropellant will be out momentarily. Right about now. We are out of monopropellant. Fantastic. Okay, that is a decoupler. I just wanted to double check that we had that there. Good. Good, good, good. So the next time I hit space, we detach all of this. And then all we have left is a heat shield that we can aim with a SAS module. And an antenna behind the heat shield. That's all we've got. So we need to get there with this fuel tank, and we will not have a problem with that. Or at least we shouldn't. If I have a problem with that, it's my own fault. Nothing to do with the game. So we're not going to bother with any sort of an inclination change once we get there. In fact, that looks pretty much perfectly equatorial as it is. We don't need to be equatorial, strictly speaking. But once we get here, we are definitely going to be doing a braking burn here. And then I'm going to do a little bit of investigation with Flight Engineer to determine what the altitude maximum is for the Julian atmosphere, and then at that point we'll make our plans for how we're going to descend into this. It looks healthy. This whole plan is kind of healthy, but, you know, for science and all that. I'm gonna... Whoa. Okay, I was not expecting how quickly we roll with the extra SAS module here and here. with the physics warp. That's kind of insane. Where is the sun right now? Over there? Okay, so we just want to go like that to orient our solar arrays. Perfect. We are kind of drifting our roll, which is weird. But that's fine. Whatever. We've got plenty of electric charge. And we have an RTG as well, so theoretically we should be fine on electric charge. Only about another kilometer per second left in this burn. And once we get up here, like I said, we will be doing a braking maneuver, but that's not going to be for several years. That's going to be almost 3 years away. Come on, Burn. You can do this. You can get there. We have so much fuel. We have a ludicrous amount of fuel. But that's okay. I like overbuilding. And man, are the atomic rocket motors ever efficient for interplanetary transfers. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, look at that. We've already drifted like 90 degrees in our roll. I'm going to fix it quick. There we go. Can we hold roll authority here, please, MechJeb? No? Like, just hold attitude. No? You don't want to hold attitude? Okay, I guess MechJeb doesn't want to hold attitude. That's fine. Like I said, we're full on electric charge anyway. It's not a big deal. What is a big deal is we've only got about 3 minutes left in this burn, which is fantastic, because then we'll be able to start warping in this way, set up our braking maneuver. It is getting close to time to put a cut in, so probably what's going to happen here is we'll finish up this burn, start warping in, make our braking maneuver, and then put the cut in. And then cut most of the time warp on the way in here, just because it's convenient. We've got about a minute left on this burn, so that will not be too bad. That roll authority, though, is kind of nuts. I don't know, maybe that's the reason why we were having issues on the ascent. Good news is, we will never need to fly this rocket model again. So I'm going to go ahead and start warping here. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and just create a quick circularization here to be right about... Where are you? Right about... Ooh, that's getting close. Yep, right about there or so. Actually... Right about... Yeah, that'll be fine. It's not quite circular, but close enough. So let's go ahead and stop this warp then, because we do still have a while left. So stop this warp, and Maneuver Planner will execute next node, which will be in a little over 2 years. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here, and next episode we will descend this thing into the Julian atmosphere. See you all then.